What's good, guys? Today is the Forgotten Legends series, Volume 1, John Wall. Now let's rewind. Let's go back to the year 2009, where John Wall joined the Kentucky Wildcats. He played with future NBA players in star DeMarcus Cousins and Eric Bledsoe. John Wall led his team to have a 35-3 record, and then they went deep in the tournament, but then they ended up losing to West Virginia. On Kentucky, John Wall averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists, and he won awards such as SEC All-Freshman, he was an All-American, he was the SEC Tourney MVP, and NCC All-Region. But then John Wall declared for the draft. He was the number 1 overall pick to the Washington Wizards, and in his rookie year, he showed promise. He averaged 16 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds, and a steal. It made All-Rookie. And let's not forget John Wall's specialties and the things that make him special. He was one of the most athletic point guards in the league. He was, I would say, the fastest point guard in the league, and his jumping ability was absolutely phenomenal. But now that we have talked about his rookie season, let's jump into John Wall's prime. If we jump into John Wall's prime, he averaged around 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 10 assists, which is insane because he's always been amazing at scoring and facilitating, getting his teammates open, but he's also a great defensive point guard. I'd say one of the greatest defensive point guards in the league at that time. And that just means he was all-around player. The only hole that was in John Wall's game was his shooting. Everything else he had. He could score, get to the basket, play defense, get his teammates open, and get everyone involved. And let's not forget the flashy passes that John Wall would make. John Wall literally just go twing, spin around, throw it, and then he'll just go up for a layup, jump mid-air, and just do a spin move. What we see John Morant doing and how he's just crazy at getting to the basket and finishing with a layup, that was basically just how John Wall was. But I'd say he was better at that. Just a magnificent, flashy player, too. And all this production led to John Wall finally being declared as an All-Star in 2014. From 2014 all the way to 2018, John Wall was elected an All-Star. But then if we skip to 2019, that's when tragedy struck. John Wall was feeling pain in his left heel and he decided to go get surgery on it. And later, that surgery caused John Wall to get an infection. Later on January 29th, John Wall suffered a left torn Achilles where he fell inside of his home. This is major for John Wall because an injury like this, it affects how athletic you are when you come back. And John Wall's game was really based off his athleticism, his speed, and his jumping and vertical ability. So this would later affect him where he would never be the same type of John Wall. Now let's fast forward a little bit in John Wall's career. The Washington Wizards decided that they didn't want to keep the core of Bradley Beal and John Wall, so what they did is they traded John Wall to the Houston Rockets for Russell Westbrook. And John Wall had somewhat of a resurgence in his career. He went to Houston, he averaged 20 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds, which are solid stats, still keeping up his defensive prowess with 1 steal and a whole block. But this was a useless team in Houston that wasn't going anywhere. And that was now noticed next year because the Houston Rockets ended up drafting Jalen Green, and he was going to be the focal point for their team. And they had a bunch of young players like Kevin Porter Jr. who they wanted to develop, so they came to the conclusion that they wanted to sit John Wall. And there was a bunch of talks about John Wall getting traded, getting bought out, and things of that nature, because they wanted their young talent to develop. But eventually they came to the conclusion that John Wall doesn't want to be on the team. The Rockets don't want him anymore. So they waived him, and then later John Wall in the offseason decided he wants to be an LA Clipper. Now we're in current times where John Wall is an LA Clipper, and he's putting up decent stats for the type of team that he plays on. He's averaging 12 points, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds, still a steal. And I think that, of course, he had a dip in his career stats, but it's not that big of a dip because he's playing on a team that has the possibility to really make a chance and contend in this league. And he's playing with other great point guards on his team like Reggie Jackson, where they're battling out every other night to see who's going to keep that starting role. And I think he's perfect for this team because they want a leader, they want someone who can facilitate the ball, and they always would love to have a defender. And he's surrounded by shooters, which I think fits John Wall's game. So with that being said, this is the legend of John Wall. Thank y'all for watching to the end of the video. Like and subscribe. It's been NBA Sphinx, and I'm out.